Get noise, we have a place for you. We love to talk Columbus Crew. Blue Jackets finally get their due. We cover pro Columbus. Tune in and join us. Disrespected media.
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce my name all the time here. Henrik.
How do you pronounce it?
In Swedish, Henrik Rydström.
Because the official pronunciation that he sent out was Rydström.
Yeah, I think when I called the players, like, yeah, it's Henrik Rydström. So then, yeah. But I don't know, really. But Rydström
What do you want them to call you?
doesn't matter so much. It's they say boss or coach, the players. So
You like boss?
coach is good.
What is, I was just trying to look this up because I saw it referred to in, was it Christopher Gustafson?
Mhm.
I transcribed those interviews and went through them. You described your English as ace English. And
It's-
so that's an idiom.
It's no, it's maybe the translator did it wrong. It's called Åsa Nisse English.
That's it. I was incorrect.
Yeah, and that's a character from, like, in Sweden. It's like a farmer that doesn't know English at all. So when they try to speak, it sounds so
Yeah.
stupid.
Well,
So
I got you.
Yeah.
So you self-describe yourself as that type of English speaker.
yeah, at least because in Malmö, I've been there 3 years. We spoke English all the time. So, but in the beginning, then you feel like, oh my God, I sound like it doesn't sound like this sexy. If you're a Spanish guy and you speak English, then it sounds sexy. So,
You're February 16th, I think is the date.
Yeah.
You'll turn 50.
yeah,
Not to, I'll say 30
yeah.
for the record.
Okay.
You were fired. You're about to turn 50.
Mm.
What were you looking for in your next challenge, your next stage of life?
I think quite quick after I left, I had to leave Malmö. I always you reflect. I would say I reflect sometimes too much, but I do it during the season also. But we played non-stop for almost like 1.5 years in Sweden, and we didn't really have time to reflect maybe as a club. And there were some things I regret that I didn't like really push through. And one thing it was that we started to lower a little bit the demands because again we played a lot of games and then we couldn't train well, and then I didn't have the meetings that I think we needed, and then at some point you lose yourself a little bit, like, okay, what do I stand for? And so what I looked for was more. I didn't, because I got the question when I then didn't work as a coach. It was like, okay, which league or which country or so, but I didn't have any like images of that. I wanted to find an environment where you can, where you work with people that want the same, and that's not. It sounds maybe very easy and silly, but that's the hard part in football. And in Europe, it's a lot of, yeah, we need to win next game. Of course, as I've said so many times, everybody wants to win. I have a son; he's 5 years old. If he doesn't win, he starts to cheat and find ways to win. It's in our nature. But if you build the organization around that, it becomes quite shallow.
So I get the sense that part of it was you've been doing this for so long, you've reached a certain station in your life, and you wanted to do what you wanted to do professionally. Is
Yeah.
that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads into the next question about facing the next challenge and how, what you were looking for in your next job. A lot of big clubs talk to you.
Mm.
Um, and at some point, it Columbus clicked.
Yeah.
Maybe it was something Issa said. Maybe it was something that Mark said. Maybe it was a combination of things. But what was it that clicked? What did this to the
Yeah.
tuning fork of your soul?
That's. I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, don't tell Issa and Mark this.
Oh,
But
they won't know.
no, good. We don't. Yeah, we. No, but actually, the first meeting we had, I think it was in November, and they were honest. They were talking with a lot of coaches. They just wanted to. And then Issa said, basically, after a while, he said, like, yeah, the playing style is important. He said, and sometimes maybe he will be angry that I say that, but he was like, sometimes we have won a game, but you go home and you feel like, oh fucking hell, you feel not a good feeling. So the way we play is important. That was the first thing. And then for every meeting we had a couple of meetings. You started to feel more and more, connection.
Yeah.
Then, but me and my family, we were more looking for, because it's easier to for everybody if it's Europe, with the distance and also some people maybe in Sweden thinks more about some leagues in Europe, even if MLS is higher up.
Yeah.
So I was more like, okay, this starts to feel really good, but is it even possible from other? So I don't know if the English word, but it was more like I felt quite direct that this is something that would be very interesting and good and fun.
Is there a Swedish word or phrase for it? Because we'll look it up.
Motvilligt, like
Now you got to spell that.
yeah, I can write it down.
Yeah.
Like you do it with like this resistance. Like you start to it's okay. There will be some difficult things to solve. We have the visa thing. I didn't think about that then, but
Yeah.
but it was like, and then I had a meeting in London with Issa and Mark, and I felt like, yeah, it would be very nice to work with those two. So you grew into that.
I think some of us in our lives have reached a point where, okay, my oldest child is this old.
Mm.
If I'm going to do this, now is a good time to do it.
Mm.
Did any of that family relationship play into your decision?
I would say that was the tough part. That because I have an older daughter that is living on her own, and then two smaller children, but they are still in an age where you also can move them a little bit easier. So, and then we started, but I think that's quite natural as a human being. I mean, you don't know, it's a big distance. Maybe I talk too much here again, but in Sweden, in the 1800th century, a lot of people, I think it was like 1/3 of the population moved to US with boat. And they left Sweden because it was poor and to create a new life. They haven't never been to the US, and then they never went back to Sweden. But it's different now. But it's a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why not?
You're looking at a brave new world, if you will.
Yeah, and we are
Absolute sense.
no.
Perhaps in the Kierkegaard sense.
Yeah, both maybe. So, but it's also then the things you may be a little bit scared of, the move and those kind of things. Then you started to look forward to those things also. It added up, but it was like the chemistry I got from Issa and Mark, I would say.
Systems now. So much talk about the first when you were officially announced, or when your name came up in relation with the crew, there was a lot of people looking up relationism and going, of course, my understanding from one of my historians is that it's nothing new in soccer and football, but that it went away for a while and that Fluminense brought it back under Denise.
Yeah.
You're one of the people, perhaps the first one to take it to Europe.
Mm.
Can you explain, if you can explain, what relationism is, how it works in the field, what Wilfried Nancy's system looked like, and how you mesh what you would like to do systematically?
Yeah. If you can say you have the relationism, and then you have the positional play football, that it's maybe more you stand in positions, and the benefit with the positional play is that you could, I have a teammate there, I can play there, and you can build a trust on that, or with that. Then relationism is more about the feeling you have that it's not that me as a coach always tell them that you need to stand there. It's not that strict. It's a little bit more, it's no freedom, because what I have done is we have very clear rules and principles, but it's also that you don't know exactly. Sometimes as a coach, you want to have a script, and the game will look like this. And when we look at the biggest coaches in the world, we maybe create that narrative that Guardiola, then he moved that guy there, and then boom. But you also know that when the game is played and it's 80,000 in the stands, he can't even tell exactly. Then you have to throw that away, and then it's up to the players on the field. And I can give an example from here, from Columbus. I mean, if you have Diego Rossi in the team, what I try to do is a little bit like, how can we make sure that he gets in so many good situations as possible where he can be the best version of himself, and then you start to build it from there. I'm not like I would say that I play. I don't know if it's relationism or it's positional play. Sometimes it's positional play because some players need to know, okay, you are standing there. If you play with a back three that Columbus have done for a long time, or at least during Wilfred, then you naturally build with three center defenders, but then sometimes outer center defender goes up in the midfield, and then it's just two. So that's the fluid part. But you need sometimes to start from a structure. Otherwise, it's chaos. So you have a structure, but that structure change, and that also depends on what the opponent is doing. Right. But again, if you start with, okay, which player do we need perform very well if we're gonna succeed? So Diego Rossi is one of those players, for example. How can we help him? How can I help him as a coach? So he can, for example, if you have a dribble that is good 1-against-1, okay, we take away players from that area. But if you are good in combinations, then we move players there. And then when you create like the circumstances, then the players can find new solutions. It's not me telling like, now you do this. Right. Then, okay, I have him here, I flick the ball to him. It's not the solution that maybe I told them, but they are so good, so they found it. I create the circumstances, the foundation, the possibility, then they need to grab it.
It's probably, you mentioned Diego Rossi. It's unfair at this point to ask about specific players, but I'll do it anyway. We do it just briefly.
Yeah.
But you can talk about the other two designated players, Wassam Abu Ali, who made a big impact when he got injured, and of course, Daniel Gazdag, who came in to a new system and struggled to assimilate. It seems that Daniel Gazdag is one of those players you'll get going. I'm just guessing here, correct me if I'm wrong, but that there's some excitement to have Abu Ali up top.
Yeah. And if you talk about Dani, I mean, he came from Philly, yeah, and more direct and counterattack team.
Very much.
So that's what I mean when I say that it's difficult to sometimes be good at everything. We want to be a little bit better in the counterattacks than last season maybe, but to have a way of playing it's very important, and I think he will cope much better. And it's not because I'm the coach; it's because he will start to understand. Because he play in a national team that is playing relationism football, where so he is used to that kind of concepts. If you use that, but I think also if we talk about Danny, what I want more from the attacking players is that I call it like go against your opponent. Take the ball and go against the opponent. Sometimes when you pass the ball a lot, you lose that. My teams always have like the most passes in the league, but I have also changed a little bit the last couple of years that, okay, sometimes you take the ball and I just go against you, and then the opponents, okay, should I drop or should I take a step up? They take a step up, then we create space, they drop, we can keep on driving.
Right.
And Danny is one of those players that I think that then at the end of the day it comes down to the player himself. He needs to take that responsibility. You are here because you are good. You should go against your opponent. The same with Diego. Vesam, I know him from he played in Sirius in Allsvenskan, and so he was amazing. He just played a couple of months. We wanted to buy him to Malmö. I think he wanted to come, but they didn't let him go. So I'm really excited to have him.
Along the same lines, this is probably a premature question, but actually probably isn't. If there's 8 or 9 players that have come up through the system, young players, how do you look at the manner in which you assimilate them and begin to roll them into what you do with the first team?
Yeah. In Sweden, it's like not a. I was thinking about that. It's like we debate about young players, but you need to sell players. I think the leagues in Europe are more like they talk about the transfer market. You need to have bigger sales,
especially the big teams.
Yeah, and the last years in Sweden has been like, okay, you need to sell young players, then you need to play them. But the tricky part with young players is always how do you teach them to be, so they know the consequences of mistakes. You like young players because they sometimes don't think about mistakes; they just do. But the consequences, you lose the ball and we concede and we lose the game, they need to understand that also. But I think here in Columbus, it's good with the Columbus Crew, the second team. Then you have a similar way in the club that makes it much easier for me as a coach. Then I just need to help them to understand what me as a coach want, and there can be some difference, but I think there's great possibilities here.
I have 2 more questions, Rob. What's central to your philosophy as a coach? I mean, this is something you've had to think about for decades, and develop. I imagine that it's evolved. And how does it cross over to you as a human being? How are those related? But it's relationship. It's all relationism.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a. It goes back to when I played and we played. We were good. We won the league. We played in the European Cups, but it was always with like handbrake. Do you say handbrake on in when you drive the car? You don't have that anymore in Sweden. It's just a small. I don't know what it's called, but handbrake.
Yeah, those are gone. You can't drift them.
Yeah, exactly. You play with that. You're so afraid of doing mistakes, and it's all about. It's so important to win.
Right.
So when I played, I have games where I just wanted the game to end. And we were 1-0 up, and just let the game end, and we have won. And then you start to reflect, okay, but that's not the reason why you start playing football. You play football to dare to challenge yourself, or the joy, or so that will always be, when I reflect, what's the most important thing to me? To give the players the feeling that they emptied the tank, they gave everything. If they leave, when they leave the club, or especially when they summarize their career, do I have many regrets? And sometimes you can't stop from having regrets, but the way you attack the game. And then I'd rather see us attack too much, and you open up your chest, and maybe you get that one sometimes. But in the long run, you will have a better feeling. So it's not so much playing style; it's more like mentality. And this is, again, this is tricky. It's easy to say. I need to show that I also dare to live that as a coach. Do I take very defensive decisions, or do I actually go? I have another saying: we go for the throat, and that's what I like. It sounds maybe a little bit too tough, but you go for a throat on the opponent, and then you don't let him breathe, and just keep doing that. And again, you need to expose your own demons, because every player, they have their demons. They're afraid of failing. They're afraid of getting criticism, losing. So create an environment where we actually, okay, maybe it is like that, but fuck it, now we go.
Yeah, play with joy, and then put the boot on the throat. Lastly, if you want to speak directly to fans who've been wondering who you are, they've been reading whatever they could get their hands on. It's quite an extraordinary fan base in Columbus in a lot of respects, including the fact that they did save their team quite literally from Louis.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to Crew fans directly right now on your first day in the United States of America?
Yeah. The importance, do you say that? The importance that the supporters have for creating this, basically the thing I said, like, so the players dare to play the way, so they don't have any regrets. But I've heard so many good things about the fan base and the atmosphere. I talked with a coach that worked in Aston Villa. They play there, and he was like, and then he can compare with really big stadiums and supporters. So sometimes as a supporter, maybe you feel like, I can't affect that much, but you can, and that is what I'm hoping. Now I'm talking like that. I mean, yeah, but I hope that we can create this together. It's easy. I hear a lot of coaches talking about that, but the way we want to play, and the way Columbus Crew have played before, and that's also one thing. I mean, I really like the way Wilfred Nancy coach his team. So, and that was together with the supporters, and I hope we can keep on building on that, and it will be a tremendous help for the players. Also, the game is 90 minutes plus extra time, so we don't give up even if we have problems in the game. Just give energy, and then we keep going. That is something I look forward to feel, and I know that the supporters in Columbus have that ability, and that will help the team.
Okay, you can't shake your hand, but you can wave and say hi.
Yeah, I do like this, or the fist bump.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Enjoy the conversation.
Yeah, me too.